what's going on, boys and girls? Good to see you. It's Christopher James, and this is Cage Cyber Christopher James. Terrific Tuesday night party coming your way. We got all kinds of stuff to talk about, mostly pertaining to the UFC, WWE being essential, and events taking place in Florida because we can, because the commission says so. Now, I'm going to bring in a guest right now who I respect the hell out of because he's a promoter that does it the right way. And he knows all about all this stuff, and he wants to get back to business too. And hopefully, we're going to get him doing a show. We're going to get Island Fights doing a show. We're going to get everybody doing a show. I feel like Oprah. You're going to do a show. You're going to do a show. You're going to do a show. Everybody's going to do a show. So we're to bring him in right now. Like I said, very respected, great guy, award-winning promoter. So let me welcome to the show from Titan Fighting Championship, aka Titan FC, the man himself, the CEO, the one and only Mr. Lex McMahon. Lex, welcome to the show.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. But listen, you're going to get me in trouble. You're giving me a promotion unnecessarily.
Oh, wait, you're the president. I forgot.
I'm the COO.
COO, Chief Operating Officer. Yeah.
Mr. Aronson, my longtime partner and friend, is the CEO, and deservedly so, because he comes up with the ideas and then I execute them.
Yeah, I don't want to get him in. First of all, I don't want to get you in trouble, but I don't want to get your buddy there mad because Mr. Aronson is a big, giant man that could probably squish me like a grape with his bare hand.
He's a big
dude.
He's a teddy bear. He's a teddy bear.
Yeah, but if you make him angry, is he still a teddy bear?
Well, you just got to know how to tame him. That's
So you say you got the boss man and your friend figured out. So
yeah, well, 12 years together, we haven't killed each other yet. So I figure doing something right.
I love it. So first of all, before we get into all the fun stuff that I want to jump into, tell us what life was like. A day in the life of Lex McMahon, the COO of Titan Fighting. Tell us a day in the life before coronavirus, and then a day in the life since coronavirus, both personally and professionally. Give us a little insight to what's going on with you.
Professionally, it's kind of the status quo. It's work. Between running Titan FC and the various other ventures that I have going on, which are predominantly related to combat sports, and then. Now still the same thing, still working, still trying to figure it out. The only difference is we're not putting on shows. But we've been productive with the time to work on some new ideas and concepts that Jeff and I have been putting together, and also refining what we do at Titan. Spent a lot of time talking with my team, from our head of production, Mr. Sean Gill, who is amazing, and Roger Crawl. Matchmaker of the year many times over. I
love Roger.
Yeah, he's the best. So, I spent a lot of time talking to my team. Justin, our camera guy, he's been here filming with us a lot. We've continued to do work and create content, a lot of which is getting ready to start coming out. And so work-wise, really, there's not much difference except we're not doing the events. But we've been looking and trying to find a way to make it happen. And I think we're getting there closer, as is referenced in kind of the theme of this show tonight. Yeah.
What about your personal life? Like, what's been going on? I'm guessing you have more time to hang out with your family and stuff like that.
Listen, I've been very fortunate in that, I have an amazing wife, and she is home working on, keeping the kids schooled up and kind of under control. But it's been great. We do, Pancake Sunday every Sunday. We do family game night, most nights. And when the kids aren't doing their activities, I have extended family. Anybody who knows me knows that, fighters have a significant place in my life. And
sure,
it's not just what we do for work. It really is kind of, what our life is about. So, Stefan Struve lived at my house for 4.5 years. I've been managing him for a very long time. Shorty Torres and Rami Hamed, who both fight for Brave, are currently living at my house. As they, their fight got canceled, and, they're trying to figure out what they're trying to do. Rami's trying to get home to Lebanon, but the country is closed. Can't travel. So he was kind of stuck, and, he's been great. So he's been acting as a tutor to my kids because he's very smart. He's an engineer. And so he's got a ton of expertise when it comes to math. So he's been working with my kids on their math. And the great thing about having two fighters staying at your house is we have a lot of fun. They really, they have, like Stefan, and they've become part of the family. But I get to train with pro fighters every day. And there you go. I'm actually training harder than I was before we went into the quarantine. I feel like, when we get released, it's going to be like getting out of jail. I'm going to be all swolled up with that, that lockdown body. And but Ronnie and I had a great training today where we did 5-minute rounds. Round 1 was a minute on the heavy bag. Round 2 was a minute on the wrecking ball. Round 3 was a minute on the boxing bag. Round 4 was a minute on the ground and pound bag, and then a minute of sparring, live sparring. We did that 5 times. So wow. We did 5 by 5, but mixed it up each round. Both he and I were exhausted afterwards. I took a little bit of a beating, a few shots to the snout. Looks a little bit flatter, but listen, I'm getting great training in, and it's awesome, and I'm fortunate. So we're having a lot of fun over here, and we're making the best of the situation.
So I'm sitting there thinking, I heard everything you said, but there's just one thing that keeps just sitting at the forefront of my brain. How the hell does Pancake Sunday go with like a gigantic heavyweight like Stefan Struve around your house?
Well, really, the question you need to be asking yourself is, how does Jose Shorty Torres eat more pancakes than Stefan Struve? It happens. Stefan eats a lot of pancakes. He does. He's 7 foot tall, almost 300 pounds, and he's never met a meal he didn't like. Shorty is a bit of an emotional eater, and I saw him eat 17 pancakes one day. So it's, we have a lot of fun, but my food bill is very expensive these days.
But you're getting the training out of it, so it's a good tit for tat, I feel like.
It's a fair trade. It's a fair trade.
Let me ask you this, and, you could think on this. I'm going to ask you again at the end of the show. You could think on it while we're doing the show. Can we set up a Pancake Sunday where we can have Struve versus Jose for a little pancake eating contest with you as the referee?
I'm all for it, but I've seen what can happen. I mean, if Stefan comes in, he trains hard and he's motivated, it's hard to bet against him. But if Shorty Torres has a little bit of a rough day, he's going to get emotional on us. And if he gets emotional, Struve doesn't stand a chance, man. Doesn't stand a chance.
Lex,
my nickname for him is the Angry Chihuahua. And he demolishes food. It's really pretty amazing.
We have to set this up now. It's a moral imperative. I must see this pancake eating contest. Promise me you'll present it to them at least. And if they say yes, we'll do it here on a Sunday morning, man. People tune in. I'll have my wife make me French toast so I can pretend I'm eating with you guys, and I'll just sit there and eat. So
listen, we can do it, man. Next time Stefan comes into town to train, we'll do it for sure.
So
there's Justin. Look at that.
Your camera guy. Look at that. He just put that message up.
I'll tell you what. That son of a gun works harder than anybody in the sport, man.
He still owes me some video, though. He owes me some video from the MMA awards. Justin, don't make me flex this thing, bro. No. I am not working out at all.
For real, he works incredibly hard, and he's passionate about the sport. And we're lucky to have him. And so, Justin, keep it up, brother. I'm proud of you, man.
Yeah, Justin's definitely a hard worker. I love his ideas and his creativity when he's got a camera in his hand. And once he gets the juices going, whatever you have him working on is usually a beautiful finished product. So, you guys are lucky to have that kid running around because he'll do anything, anytime, day or night. He's a guy you want on the team. So,
for sure.
All right. So, Florida, the state of Florida, yesterday was announced that the WWE is now deemed an essential business. Mouths dropped all across the state, hitting the floor, bouncing up all around the country. Today that was expanded, which it wasn't really expanded. It was pretty much announced today, but Mitchell Shamali Combat Night did a show when nobody else could do a show for Combat Night. And it was a great show. The Florida Boxing Commission sanctioned it. But after that show, everybody thought Florida was shut down and that was going to be the end-all be-all. UFC 249 was being planned. I told everybody that Florida was on the short list of hosting the event.
Yeah.
Dana White took it to California, Taishi Palace. The backup
I bet
plan,
he's kicking himself right now.
yeah, he might be. But the backup plan was definitely Florida was next in line. I've spoken with people that are, through the commission, and it was definitely,
Listen,
that was there.
Patrick and Tim, the commissioners for Florida, do an amazing job. And
I love those guys.
Yeah, no, they're great guys. And, they have been steadfast in their desire to keep the opportunity open from their perspective for the fighters to have the ability to do shows and the promoters to put those shows on. The challenge has been, I don't know that just, once Mitchell did his show, people thought, oh, well, that's it. The reality was the commission was always, as you referenced, standing ready to license an event. I've spoken with them many, many times through the course of the pandemic. The real challenge has been the dynamic nature of the information flow, things shutting down. You've got basically, now you're dealing with, there's federal regulations that are covering this. There's state regulations. There's county and city. All right. And so you've kind of got to weed through, Miami-Dade shut down, Broward shut down, really it's Tallahassee and Jacksonville that are the two places that are viable options presently as we sit here and talk today. But I believe that will continue to expand. And, we're looking at obviously getting into the mix here very soon. And I've been working very hard on that, along with, my partner, Jeff. And, we're going to get there. And I think it's going to happen sooner than later. But, this thing took on a life of its own. And it became more serious than I think people thought in the beginning.
Sure.
And, the loss of life has been significant. The damage to the economy has been significant. And people want to make sure that we come back from this the right way and there's not just a rush. It would be horrible to come back and put people at risk.
Sure.
So, it's got to be thought out and the proper plan put in place. But, the Florida Commission is standing ready. And, I was actually on the phone throughout the day today with Marcus Rubio, his team, as well as Senator Scott and the governor's office, and got some very clear guidance to help us navigate through how we can put a show on and be in compliance. There's more to it than just being an essential business that, a sport that has a national audience. There's more to it. Again, you've got to navigate each of the jurisdictions that you want to try to do an event in. You've got to make sure that you have, a very finite number of people in attendance. It's not open to the public. Safety precautions, looking at possibility of testing. There's just a lot of things that go into it to do it right and make sure that people are safe and that, this doesn't look like a rush to grab cash, because that's the last thing that I think anybody wants to have happen. And it wouldn't be good for the MMA community at large, but specifically here in Florida.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And, the reason I think this is all coming up today is because, and I'm going to give myself a little pat on the back, because I've been reporting that Florida was in business, because I've stayed in touch like you with the commission and let people know, but today ESPN reported MMA fighting, MMA junkie, and I was like, I was ahead of all you guys. I don't get to say that a lot. So I tooted my own horn a little bit, but, and people were on, people were commenting on the thread, and I think you were commenting on there, and oh, you can't do it, it's wrong, it's bad.
Listen, we got to get back to work.
Amen.
And so I'm a huge proponent of, everybody had to kind of sit back and take stock of what was going on. And, listen, we've all been in lockdown for like a month, and, if you pay any degree of attention, you understand that this has a life cycle. We're at a place now where you're starting to see, I think, some light at the end of the tunnel. We have to be prepared. Could it bounce back? Certainly. I mean, there's a lot of scenarios. We're certainly not out of the woods on this thing, but you have to be solution oriented. You can't just, this is America, man. Like we are people who fight innovate and come up with ways to prevail. And I think that that's what you're going to see here. Is this is a kudos to Governor DeSantis and to the Florida Boxing Commission and all those folks that have provided the opportunity for folks like Jeff and I and the Mitchells and the UFC and everybody that's involved. Obviously, my buddy Dean up in Pensacola at Island Fights.
Yep.
They're giving us an opportunity to innovate and come up with solutions so we can all get back to work. I think sports, the idea of deeming sports an essential business, it makes sense because at the end of the day, as long as it's done safely and smartly, we can entertain a lot of people, man. And Amen. There's value in that when people are stuck at home and they're watching the Tiger King, which is ridiculous. It makes no sense to me. If that's what entertainment is, that's what we're kind of relegated to. Man, we need sports back. We need it back desperately.
You are not kidding.
MMA needs to come back in a big way, and we're working hard to make it happen. And we've got a target date, and we're trying to pin everything down. And hopefully, we'll get it there soon. We're not there yet, but we're getting there.
Yeah, and that was the thing. I was having a few heated conversations with a couple people on my thread that as long as the safety measures are implemented, and the UFC will spare no expense to provide a safe environment for their athletes, for the boxing commission, for the production team that will be in the building, when this one was going to take place in California, and they certainly would do the same thing here in Florida. Mitchell's show, Combat Night, had all the safety precautions in place that they could, except for COVID testing, because at that time, nobody could get COVID testing. There wasn't any.
I've already got the testing in place.
Yep.
For us to do it. I was actually had that meeting today. And, we're fortunate that, we've got some partners that can help us with that. Talk to the commission about, the precautions that Mitchell took, some ideas that they had to improve upon those. And, we're going to implement those things and we're going to get to work. It's going to happen.
Yep.
Like I said, we've got our target date. We've had it for a long time. It was actually going to be an event in the Dominican Republic because I shifted our April 24th date in the Dominican Republic.
Correct.
To May 29th. I was on the phone with our partners yesterday, today, over the Dominican Republic, and it's just not prudent for us to be able to do shows there because there's travel restrictions. The government who helps to subsidize our events over there, the Minister of Sports, is not in a position where he can provide the venue and some of the other resources that he's been able to provide previously, until they have some clarity on the situation. So, we're going to push our date in the DR back to later in the summer, but we're going to hold that date for May 29th. And we're, with the announcement of, sports being an essential business here, listen, this is our home. We're going to make our home work. We're going to get, some of our team back in and earning a paycheck and, the fighters back up and going, and we're going to entertain people. We're going to put on the best damn card we can. We're going to make it exciting, and we're going to showcase some talent. We're going to give something to be excited about.
Yeah, I'm excited for it too, and for you guys to come back, for us, with Dean Tool and everybody come back in Island Fights. Like to see Mitchell get back to work as well with the Combat Night, and they made history. So Florida made history, during this thing, and that's awesome.
Sure. Kudos to Mitchell, man.
Yeah,
he does a good job.
Yes, he does. The UFC announced again today. Dana White came out and said May 9th he has a show. This is the card, the potential card. Ferguson versus Gaethje for the interim lightweight championship. Henry Cejudo will defend the bantamweight against Cruz. Nunes versus Spencer. Ngannou versus Jairzinho Rosenstruck. Jeremy Stevens and Calvin Guitars. The one that got added today, Donald Cerrone and Anthony Pettis, which I just go, ooh.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
Hardy and DeCastro, Alexei Olenek and Fabricio Verdum, Carlos Esparza and Michelle Waterson, Jacare versus Uriah Hall, Luque versus Nico Price, Rosa versus Bryce Mitchell. The predominant thing, there's a theme on this card. The majority of these fighters on here are based in Florida.
Yeah.
Like I said, May 9th. So now the problem is finding a venue. And, when that was the comment I saw from you, said, Jacksonville and Tallahassee have venues that are open. But I added to the idea, and I said, Indian casinos too. But all the casinos here are shut down. Every one of them right now. But they would open up for this. But what about my idea, since the WWE has that beautiful performance center in Orlando, which is a similar type setup to the Apex, where they host the Ultimate Fighter and the Contender Series. All the production facilities are in place. The WWE and the Dana White and Vince McMahon have a relationship. They, bounced around and, got a little mad at each other a couple times over Brock Lesnar. But at the end of the day, they're the same type of businessman. They're going to get shit done. So they would gladly accept the Saturday night rental fee from the UFC to host the event. You just bring in the octagon instead of, pull out the ring, and they have everything there. And that would be able to put it in Orlando, which, Tallahassee and Jacksonville's called. And again, it doesn't matter because there's no fans, but I think it would be easier to get everybody to Orlando than the other two cities, logistically speaking. And because that facility has everything there, to me, that building makes the most sense if they can pull it off. What's your thoughts on that?
If they can pull it off, I think it makes a ton of sense. That it definitely makes things an easier lift. But at the end of the day, man, I know Dana a long time. I've known him almost 12 years, and I've been fortunate enough to, be able to develop a really strong business relationship with him and a good camaraderie. And the one thing I know about him, man, there's no task that he will back down from. He's determined to put 249 on, and I guarantee you he's gonna make it happen. He was gonna make it happen, and
it was happening.
The politics of things got involved, and he elected to be a good partner and stand down, and it made sense when you understand the economics and the relationship that's been there and all that. But if I'm gonna, when Jeff and I launched Titan years ago, I remember doing an interview when we first signed our deal with UFC Fight Pass. I remember telling people, I said, listen, man, we can sit here and try, to get a ton of funding and try to compete with the UFC. That makes zero sense. If I'm going to be in this business, I'm going to align myself with the 800-pound gorilla that is Dana White and the UFC. And I'm just going to have a great relationship that's synergistic, and I'm going to do everything I can to be a great partner to them. And it's worked out that way, and they've been a great partner to us. And, so anybody that bets against Dana, they're a fool, man. Like, he's a tremendous dude. Every safety precaution is going to be taken. His team, his fighters, they will all be well cared for. Haters are going to get out there and say what they want. I know the man for almost, 12 years. Like, I know who he is and how he does business. He's going to make it happen. He's going to do it the right way. And everybody else, he'll just kind of sit back and say, look, man, I told you so. Don't bet against him.
Never. And, it's funny because when the announcement was made and he had to stand with Brett Okamoto in Vegas and tell everybody that he had to pull back, I could see behind his eyes. He was not happy to make that announcement. He was doing everything to maintain, because we've seen Dana get upset, all of us. You've probably seen him more upset in person than I've ever seen him on TV. But I could tell he just wanted to turn around and tell everybody to go F themselves. I was very proud that he didn't, because, it would have been the wrong move. But he's
a shrewd business. When you got $750 million a year on the line, you don't say the wrong thing. And I guarantee you, Ari was in his ear telling him. But he's a smart cat, man. He built this industry. He gave you and I jobs.
Amen.
He created this industry, and I'm always going to be a huge fan.
Yeah, me too. And like I said, I'm glad he didn't, say the wrong thing out publicly. But then, he comes out today and he makes the announcement about May 9th. That's his next target date. That's when the federal mandate, passes by, all that stuff. And, there's people coming out just crapping on Dana, trying to put on events, which to me, that means they're crapping on the fighters that they want to support. And they're crapping all over it. And these are media guys. And I said, I was talking with Jason House last week from Iridium Sports.
I saw his post.
Yeah, and
brilliant, and I commented on it as well.
I said the same thing. I said, for all you fighters that are out there, even organizations, these media people, and I'm one of them, but I support this movement because it's the right thing to do. But to all those reporters out there that are crapping all over the UFC trying to do anything, or any promotion trying to do anything, they're essentially crapping on the fighters that they say they support. So when everything gets back to business,
everybody's got to work. Okay.
Yep.
And again, so let's be solutions oriented. Let's find a way. Don't tell me that American businessmen, American athletes, Americans can't figure a way to get back to work. I guarantee you we could figure it out, and we will. We're the greatest nation on the planet. And I know different people will look at it and say, oh, but hey, I'm American. I fought for the right to say that. And, I believe it. I believe it steadfastly. I believe in our tenacity as a society. I believe we will come up with solutions. We will persevere, and we'll get back to work. And for those who are going to, speak down on that, and they're just looking for sound bites and, clicks and, all that shit. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. What matters is getting people safely back to work and building our economy back up. That's what matters.
That's the crowd roaring for you right there. But what I was trying to finish up what I was saying, all you fighters out there that are watching, if a journalist that's crapping all over this, trying to get you guys back to work, just remember that next time they ask you for an interview, tell them where to stick it. If they're not going to support us now and support this sport and all of you guys and all the promotions and the fighters, then they don't deserve to talk to any of you guys, because you're the reason that they have jobs. Now, I got a couple of things. I'm going to throw some comments up here before we continue on.
Sure.
The first one is from Eric Coal, my buddy from My MMA News. Now,
oh shit, Eric, I'm doing an interview. Sorry, buddy, I forgot to tell you.
Hey, now people sometimes get confused. My website is mymmashow.com. Eric is mymmanews.com. Eric and his team do phenomenal work. He's got 20 some odd reporters, and he's all into this. So he says
he also handles my PR.
I know he does. He's voting for Lex McMahon 2020, but I think it's going to have to wait till 24 because Trump is going to win this one. But I'll definitely get on the campaign trail for Lex in 2020. We'll get Lex and Dean Toole.
Too many skeletons in my closet, man. Better to be the king maker than the king. So yeah. I'll help bring Dean Toole up. How about that?
Yeah, well you got to have to work it together.
I had a little too much fun as a younger child. My Marine Corps and college days were entertaining.
Anything that happened to the Marines, you were allowed. You were the Marines. You were serving our country. You get a pass.
Yeah, most of that happened overseas. So
and here's Eric again quoting the Hulk Hogan song, "I am a real American."
That's because he's stuck at home. He's bored.
Yeah, I know.
Pulling up quotes.
Justin Sims says May 29th, a.k.a. Christmas Day. I like that. Debbie Gamble, the Florida MMA #1 fan. Woohoo, can't wait. Justin said he'll work in a hazmat suit and move like Dominic Cruz. I totally dig that.
True story. We've been doing filming, as I mentioned.
Yep.
We have a video that we're getting ready to release with the Burns brothers. Justin was here filming that. Yeah. We've made adjustments on how we are doing our work, but one of them is we filmed the other day, and guess who shows up to my house in hazmat gear? Like, he's got the mask on, he's got the whole thing, and I didn't ask him to do that, but he's so conscientious that he was thoughtful of my family and understanding the situation. But he filmed the whole thing in his gear, man.
That's awesome. He's a good dude. Now, the last time I had you on the show, I had asked you about singing, and I tell you, everybody on the show sings the first time. Now, hang on. Now, look, I didn't even bring it up tonight till just now, and the reason I did, because Eric, your PR guy, says, "Are you going to make him sing?" And then, wait, now listen, here's more. Look. And then Justin, "Oh, please, oh, please, oh, please." Now, with as much as you love Justin, he's begging for this, and he's going crazy. Like,
wait, didn't I sing the last time? Like, no. I thought you were off the hook after the first time, man.
No, you didn't do it the last time. You said no. And I said the next time I was going to ask you, and you know what? I honestly forgot about it until I saw these comments pop up. So, even if it's happy birthday to somebody and you sing that, I don't even give a rat's ass. Oh, Eric wants you to sing the Marine Corps hymn.
That's a good one, but I'm gonna sing a little clip of a song from Moana, because I left movie night with my family. We're watching Moana to come sit and chat with you.
Well, I appreciate that. And tell your family I said thank you.
Because the song is "You're Welcome," and it's I can't even remember the damn words. The sun, the moon, the stars, you're welcome. There you go. That's why I'm going to clip it for you. Not my strength, man.
Listen, that's okay, man. Most people can't sing that come on the show, although I have been lucky a couple of times. Michelle Waterson, when UFC was in Tampa last year, it was Michael Davis's birthday. So, he was fighting on the card. She was on the card. And I was interviewing her. I said, I told her she would have to sing. So she did like this jazzy version of Happy Birthday, sang it right to Mike Davis. He was like, awesome. Oh my God, Michelle Waterson sang me Happy Birthday. He goes, that made my fight week. And, of course, then he got his debut and he has a big win. And the other stellar performance that stood out was Courtney Casey did the whole theme song for the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I asked her to sing, and she sits there like this, and she looks at me. She's like, "All right, hold on." And she's like, "Hold on." And then, in West Philadelphia, born and raised, and I almost peed myself. It was so awesome. We've talked about Dana White, and I know you respect him. I knew that before we even talked, because I know that you guys have a good relationship. We've talked about Dana White, the UFC. We've talked about your event going on in May at the end of the month, whereas Dana's looking to do a show at the beginning of the month. I had touched a little bit on this with you off the air when we got started, and I really believe there's some truth to this. And we even talked about at the beginning. The Democratic Party hates President Trump. There are members of the Democrats right now that when all the stimulus package was being developed, that were how it works in politics. Give a little, you get a little. And a couple of Democratic Congress people came out, did interviews saying that they were ashamed to be a part of the Democratic Party today because they asked for stuff in the stimulus package, the first one, and the Republicans and President Trump agreed they were going to do it because they wanted to get the package rolling. But these Democratic Congress people still voted no. And the interviews that had happened, a female congressperson, she came on and she said, I'm ashamed to be part of this party because the Democrats that I spoke to today told me the reason they voted no against the package wasn't because of any other reason than they can't give President Trump a win, regardless of the fact that they got what they wanted. So
it's not even the canceling of the event. COVID-19, all this stuff, it's bad. It's real, okay? But the response on both sides of the aisle has been more pronounced because we're in the midst of an election cycle.
Absolutely.
And if anybody doesn't realize that, they're naive and they need to understand politics and how politics work. That's just the reality. Both sides are guilty, unfortunately.
Sure.
I think President Trump has done a tremendous job leading our country during a difficult time. But there are other folks within the Republican Party that are positioning and being prepared to take advantage of all the good work that's been done for the election cycle. That's the reality. That's how it works, and the Democrats have certainly done it, and they've certainly made a lot of decisions that are based on this. But it doesn't, at the end of the day, as long as you know it, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter if you understand it. Because you can work against it, you can vote against it, you can try to make educated decisions. It's the dangerous part is when you don't understand that and you're naive and you don't understand the world as it is. You're seeing it as you would like it to be.
Yeah, and it's scary. Like people are like that, and I brought up a thing. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but the way that event was ended because the governor called Disney called Dana, boom, boom, boom. I think there's honestly a political movement behind that. And again, it's just the Democrats striking out at the Republicans and at President Trump because, here in Florida, that won't happen. They're behind it. And if, wherever it takes place on an Indian reservation or at, Performance Center or a venue in Tallahassee or Jacksonville, the government is going to call Disney and say, hey, listen, can you shut this down? Because they've already given their seal of approval to make it happen. So I like, and the other part of that thing, because Tashi Palace is a sovereign nation.
Yep.
So when they lose financial gain because of interference from the state of California, which that happened, I'm wondering, and maybe somebody out there has a legal expert, maybe you even might know, but does Tashi Palace have a claim to maybe sue the state of California and the governor directly because they messed up they took income from the Indian reservation that would have been generated by the UFC coming out there, paying to have the event, all the stuff that goes around with it. Obviously, tickets or, but they would have to rent hotel rooms from them. So all inclusive, they lost a lot of money on this. Dana said he's going to give them an event, a big pay-per-view, because they were there in his corner. But that doesn't make up for the fact that I think the government stepped over the line with the tribal council there.
Anyone can sue anybody at any time for anything. Okay, that's the way our legal system is set up. I think that there certainly may be a claim. I think it will be challenging to prevail when the governor of California's actions are shrouded in public safety. At the end of the day, that was what he stated was his driving concern. I'm sure it can be proven otherwise, but that's what he's hanging his hat on. So it may be challenging to prevail, but I definitely think there's more afoot that drove that decision than just a concern for public safety. Yeah, because
I don't think it was about the public safety. I think it was just about flexing their muscle. I'm sad for the relationship moving forward with Dana and ESPN and Disney, because this is obviously going to be something that they all remember, and they butted heads over. Even though it came out publicly, it happened nice. I don't know how nice Dana was in that meeting or that phone call. I'm not going to say what he could have said because I wasn't there, but based on how we all see Dana when he gets hot, that might not have been a pleasant conversation for the guy from Disney or the ESPN guy. Dana still might have yelled, but maybe, like you said, Ari was probably on the phone with him going, "Hey, relax." Right. But yeah, there's so much behind it. It hits me in the belly. It hurts because he's just trying to put on a show, entertain the nation, entertain the world, because we need that distraction so bad right now. So I can't wait for you to get back to work. I can't wait for Island Fights to get back to work, because as this sport, we can come back as the sport overall, no matter the letters in the front of your promotion, and provide a lot of entertainment to a lot of people, give them a little joy, give them a little relief from the day-to-day monotony of being stuck in the movie Groundhog Day, theoretically. It's like the same thing over and over. So I'm excited about it. I think that's pretty much it. I think I covered it all. What's this? Who's this? Who's this guy? Patrick Speechy? I don't know. Justin's talking about him. I thought it was something interesting there. So before I let you go, because I thank you for giving up movie night to hang out with us for a little while, man. Tell your family thank you so very much. I'm sorry I stole Dad from the kids and all that stuff. I don't want them to see me at another award show and trip me and make me fall on my face. So
sorry, Chris. I'll tell them you're the guy. No problem.
Yeah, and just because they're hanging around with Struve too, so they might learn some stuff. I might. What would you say to everybody out there, regardless of the sport of MMA? What would you say to everybody out there to give a message of positivity moving forward in this, just as Americans, not so much as an MMA sport or a football or baseball, just as Americans from your point of view?
It's broader than Americans. It is a global issue. So I would say just be human, treat people with love and respect, whether you know them or not, and be patient. We'll get through all of this, and we'll be stronger for it as a global society. And, we're going to come back bigger and stronger, man. Just watch. I really believe that. Things may be different than they were. There may be a new normal, so to speak. But I have great confidence in the resiliency of, the people of the world and certainly of Americans. I think that we will certainly prevail in this, and sports is going to be a big part of it. It's how we entertain, or one of the many ways that we entertain ourselves is through sport. And sport has this opportunity to not only entertain but also serve as a platform about messaging and teaching lessons to children. So it's so much bigger than just the entertainment factor. It really does provide an opportunity to teach life's very important lessons. So let's get back to work. Let's teach some lessons. Let's have some fun.
Amen to that. And, if they don't get college football back in time, there's going to be people jumping off cliffs in Alabama and all these other big football states. Texas will revolt against the whole country if they can't have high school and college football. It'll be ugly. So hopefully we get everything back to work. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Mr. Lex McMahon, the COO of Titan Fighting Championship.
I get to keep my job now. Thank you, Chris.
And for you guys that don't know, COO means Chief Operating Officer. It's actually the COO, and then Justin would say L. He's just cool. We take all the stuff out. But he gave up movie night. He sang for us tonight, which he didn't do the last time. And he did that for Justin and for Eric because they asked. Because he's a boss that takes care of his team. That's his team. So he's like, all right, I'll do a little. And he sang a kids movie song. So I give him extra point for that one. Lex, thank you so much again. Hope to see you guys soon. And definitely when your show goes, if I'm not doing anything else, I will be down there. If you're allowed to have any media there, I would love to be one of the people that gets to come down and cover it for the media.
For sure, bro. We'd love to have you.
I would love to be there for that. I support you guys 100% of what you do, not just now, but anytime.
You always have, man.
You and Dean. I'm so happy that you and Dean Toole, both promoters. Competition in the sense of that you're both MMA shows, you're both on Fight Pass,
but
you're
we
not.
think the world of one another. We really do. He's a tremendous guy.
Dean loves you.
MMA guy.
Dean loves you. He tells me all the time, and but I'm glad because some promoters around, you've been around some. They can't be in the same room together. They're always backstabbing each other. Yeah. They don't understand that there's plenty of this pie to go around for everybody. You do it in your end.
I think Dean and I are both comfortable with who we are and what we do.
Amen.
So there's no insecurity. It's just, hey, man, let's put on shows. Let's do work. Let's provide for our families and give the fans a great opportunity to see some great fights.
One day, and maybe you and Dean could do this. Maybe we'll have a co-branded show together, and we can call it.
We've talked about it.
Titan Island.
Yeah. We've talked about it, and it's just, a lot of things keep coming up. Like this whole, is actually one of the items that we really were going to dig into for 2020, and things happen, life happens. So, but we'll get back to it.
Absolutely.
I can see us definitely doing it. Florida has the best fighters in the world, I think, in terms of just a huge concentration of so many elite level fighters. So Dean and I put on, hands down, I think the best shows, not just in this state. And that's no disrespect to Mitchell or to Danny Kaye or, any of the other folks that put on shows, but we do a good job, and it's not just in Florida. I mean, both of us are on Fight Pass seen in 150 countries, and we've done our shows in Kazakhstan, the Dominican Republic, and looking to continue to do them abroad. So, I know Dean and I are both looking to showcase the talent that we have in Florida further than we do, and what better way than collaborating together to crown the best of.
It'll be awesome. I'll announce my guys. Rodolfo can announce your fighters. Well, it'll just be one versus the other all night. It'll be so much fun, man. I would kill to be a part. Oh, I would be a part of it, but I would kill for it to happen sooner rather than later. But we can keep going. I can keep bringing up stuff. We keep going. I don't want to keep you from your family anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Mr. Lex McMahon. Again, he is the COO of Titan Fighting Championships. Took almost an hour out of his day to hang out with us and talk with us about a lot of stuff. If you just tuned in, go back and rewatch us later because Lex makes a lot of good points and you definitely want to listen. I told you guys this would be a fun and educational show. So Lex, thank you for coming in, and you can go ahead and just go ahead and click yourself out there, and you'll be on your way. We'll talk to you soon. Be well, stay safe. God bless you and your family, sir.
All right, brother. Same to you. Thank you so much for having us on.
Don't forget Struve and Shorty. Find out about the pancake contest and get back to me.
The pancake challenge.
Yeah, it'll be awesome, dude.
All right, brother. Take care.
Be well.
Bye.
All right, guys. That was my man, Mr. Lex McMahon from Titan Fighting Championships. Hell of a guy. He's very smart. I hope you guys listened to what he was saying all night long. He brings up a lot of valid points. And he's saying, Justin and Eric, you saw that. He's saying just for you guys, man. But while I'm still on live, what do you guys think about what we were talking about? 249, the Democratic governor in California being a whiny wuss and, doing anything again to strike down at President Trump and the Republicans. Dana White and President Trump are buds. And, of course, they could punch Dana over here and screw with him. And, that makes Donald Trump mad. So there's all kinds of crap going on. I don't like it. I think they overstepped their bounds with Taishi Palace. They cost them a lot of revenue. I hope that their legal counsel of the tribe that's out there looks into this and actually considers taking legal action against the state of California and the governor of California personally. Name him in the lawsuit because it's him being pushed and prodded and poked by other, and boom. They interfered with business of the sovereign nation out there, of the tribe. And, unless they're out there, murdering people, I really don't think the state of California has anything to say. The casino was even closed because they wanted to be, along with the state of California. They tried to be helpful to the state of California because if the casinos were open, you bet people would be out there. The state of Florida, we have Indian reservations here. We have a lot of casinos, and they all closed down pretty much after everything really got, all the mandates started coming in about, curfews and social distancing. All the casinos here closed. They're all tribal. They all closed, not because they wanted to close and not because they were told to, because they didn't have to. But they also knew that if they stayed open, people were going to go out of their house and go to the casinos. And they were going to continue to gather in large groups and gamble and, do shows or, just get drunk and wasted. And, that would have not flattened the curve. It would have been bad. So trying to understand the needs of the community, even though it hurts them to be closed, or, they make tons of money, so, they're not going to go out of business. But it hurts them to be closed. Their workers, are losing money. And that there's a lot of people that work in those casinos. So those folks are out of work. The tribes could have kept them all open, but again, they tried to be responsible in their behavior and not have the residents come over to tribal land where, the regular police can't mess with you. If you're on tribal land and, I'm hanging out at the casino and I'm past curfew, the county sheriff can't come over and kick me out or arrest me. Now, when I get off the property, he can wait for me. But if I'm on the tribal land, I'll just sleep in my car till the curfew hours end and I'll drive out. And that's what a lot of people would have done, especially at, the casino here in Tampa, 25,000 cars could be parked on there. It'd be a parking lot party. It'd be great. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the show tonight. Normally we get a little goofier and a little fun, but, when Lex comes on the show, I like to keep things, real business because I want to learn and listen. And he always provides a lot of good stuff to chew on. We are going to try to get Jose Shorty Torres versus Stephen the Skyscraper Struve in a pancake eating contest. As Lex said, they both live at his house. And Jose can eat 17 pancakes. And if he's a little moody that day, he might even eat more and he can out-eat Struve, which I have to see. If it does happen, it will happen here on this show. I know Justin Sims will be being at the house, filming it for the archives of Titan Fighting Championship. Justin, where's my videos from the MMA awards? Come on, man. I want my videos. I got to see those dances, the goofy stuff, man. Go choke somebody out, dude. Put on your hazmat suit and go scare people. We will get through this. We will make it through. We're all going to survive. Just remember, even though we don't like some of it, follow the rules that are, implemented all across the country right now, or all over the world. Roll with it. We've already been in it this deep. It doesn't make sense to stop now. So as far as, social distancing, wearing gloves, wearing a mask if you have one, and just keep the faith. Keep your thoughts in a positive spot, because you know what? As long as you wake up every day on the right side of the grass, which is this side, you're good. That means you just have an opportunity to get things done. I'd like to thank my friends Eric Kowal for hanging out and watching with us tonight. Justin Sims, me, Beast, Debbie Gamble, Pete Zachary, and everybody else who tuned in. I don't know who everybody, Steve Rothman from the Fighting News. Like I said, Eric Kowal from MyMMAnews.com. He's awesome. And that's it. See you soon, boy. Steve Rothman. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to try to get an episode of Fired Up with Chris. I do have some orders to do with my new job at Shipt. I'm having a good time delivering groceries. I've been fortunate to, just on a side note, outside the MMA stuff, the club I work for is, down right now. And, of course, there's no gigs for me to announce. So I took a job with Shipt because people need groceries. And a lot of people who are immunocompromised or elderly and, for that reason, they don't want to be in the stores. I've been fortunate. I've dealt with a lot of, families where they have a lot of kids and they can't get out because they don't want to take the kids all to the store. I'm so happy that they think like that. There's some elderly folks that don't want to be out, and I'm trying to be there for them the best I can in some way. So this helps them. I've only had one person tell me today. I delivered some groceries, and I was like, glad we could provide a service for you during this tough time. And the lady's like, she goes, I use Shipt all the time. Even before this, she goes, I'm just lazy and I don't like the grocery store. I was like, well, I'm glad for that because that puts me to work. So thanks for your laziness. And she started laughing. It was so funny. But you guys have a good night. Be safe. Tell your loved ones you love them any chance you get because you just never know. We will be back maybe tomorrow night with some more guests. I'm chasing down UFC fighter Eric, your boy, Anders. And going to try to get Brock Weaver on. He was supposed to come on last week. We had some technical difficulties, but we're going to see if he's got them worked out. If we do, we'll try to have him on Wednesday night. And then Thursday and Friday, I got some stuff working on as well. So we're going to have a little bit of fun. You guys, thanks for being part of this with me. And always support me. I appreciate it. Like I said, man, thanks for letting me be a part of your life. And thank you to you guys for being a part of mine. It is so awesome to have you guys do this with me. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am Christopher James. Appreciating you guys. You've been Cage Side. We'll talk to you next time. Peace.